Hi, I'm Steve Younis. Welcome to your Speeding Bulletin, your Superman news video recapping the events of the week, August 7th to August 13th, 2015. Our top news stories this week included Henry Cavill talks about Warner Brothers' big plans for their DC movies, the cast and crew of Supergirl attend a panel at the Television Critics Association this week, and we have full solicitation information for issue 1 of Superman American Alien by Max Landis. Let's check out these stories and more in this week's Speeding Bulletin. In movie news, Henry Cavill appeared on Live with Kelly and Michael on American television this week, where he was promoting his new film The Man from U.N.C.L.E. But he also spoke briefly about Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice and nearly playing Superman in a previous film.
But you almost, and I read this and I was like, wow, that would have been interesting, would have been great actually. You almost played Superman 10 years ago.
I did, yeah. McG was going to make a movie, and so I hear, I was pretty much the guy. And then McG dropped out, new director came on, new script came in, and new director had different ideas. And so that didn't happen.
Wow, that's amazing.
Henry also appeared on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon on Wednesday night, where he spoke briefly about his role as Superman and what type of exercise and diet he needs to get onto to get back into the Man of Steel shape.
I mean, you have to, well, you're Superman, you have to be in awesome shape.
Yeah, for the movie, but generally sort of off movies, I tend to be off season, and
But do you gain weight back?
Yeah, I put weight on and then lose it again before we start shooting.
Because when you go on the diet as Superman, what does Superman eat?
He eats a lot of things.
Well, name one.
I mean, okay, it depends. If I'm mass building, then I'll eat burgers and stuff.
Mass
But,
building.
Yeah.
See, that's
If I'm
where
doing my mass game.
we're different people. Yeah, this is fantastic. Mass building, that's what they call it, yeah. So
At a recent New York screening for his new movie The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Henry Cavill and his co-star Armie Hammer were interviewed by UpRocks.com about the film, but Henry also spoke about Man of Steel, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, and the bigger plans for the entire slate of DC Comics movies. He said there's a big plan in place at WB for the whole DC franchise, so all of this stuff ties in. They're not thinking from movie to movie, they're thinking from a big tentpole type thing, and each story has its own story, which is attached to the major issue. In an interview with The Guardian, Henry Cavill spoke about the complexity of the Superman character, the ridiculous thought of being typecast, and the richness of the character. He said, people think Kryptonite can beat him? No. The only thing that can really beat Superman is Superman. His own noggin messing with him, his own moral choice. When you have that to start with, the storytelling can really delve into something rich. On Wednesday night here in Sydney, I attended the Australian premiere of The Death of Superman Lives What Happened, the full-length documentary about the never-made Tim Burton film starring Nicolas Cage as Superman. It's a fantastic documentary that not only gives us an interesting insight into the Superman movie we never saw, but also a peek behind the curtain of how Hollywood works and doesn't work. Check out my full report at the website now. In TV news, the Denver Post published an article about Melissa Benoist as she prepares to take flight as Supergirl in the upcoming CBS television series. Melissa said she perfectly understands Kara's personality when she's not Supergirl, saying she's unsure, shy, awkward, just trying to survive in an environment where she can't be her true self. I really can relate, although I've always had a little more comfort in my own skin. I'm okay being weird. The cast and crew of Supergirl attended a panel at the Television Critics Association this week, where they explained their hopes and dreams for the highly anticipated action drama. As to whether Superman will make an appearance in the show, Jeff Johns explained he will be a factor in her life, but you won't see him exactly on screen. He'll be in the background, but he does play a part in her evolution. CBS also released a new promo teaser for the Supergirl TV series titled A Hero Will Rise.
There's something about me that for most of my life, I run from it. But last night, I embraced who I am. I'm her, the woman who saved the plane.
Good morning, National City. Our top story. Who is the mystery flying woman who saved the plane?
If she's anything like him, she's a hero. Saving people's what they're born to do. The worst criminals in the galaxy
have been emerging.
So what do we do now?
The world needs you to fly.
Earth doesn't have just one hero anymore. Now it has Supergirl.
Supergirl writer Ali Adler posted this photo on Instagram this week, asking if anyone other than Melissa Benoist could read the message written on what appears to be a section of the craft that brings Kara Zor-El to Earth in the pilot episode of Supergirl. The inscription reads, House of El, while the other figures are actually Kryptonian numbering, but they seem just to be random numbers. Variety revealed that actress Britt Morgan from True Blood has been cast in the role of Leslie Willis, aka Livewire. Leslie is a confident, abrasive and funny shock jock who works for Catco Media, the conglomerate owned by Cat Grant. When an accident makes her as dangerous and shocking as her words, Supergirl must stop her. Don't forget, Supergirl premieres in the US on Monday, October 26th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS, before moving into its regular 8 p.m. Monday time slot. In comic book news, DC Comics granted comicbookresources.com the first look at the variant cover and solicitation information for issue number 1 of Superman American Alien, a 7-issue miniseries written by Max Landis. On sale November 11th, this first issue, superstar artist Nick Dragato illustrates the story of Jonathan and Martha Kent as they struggle to deal with their 12-year-old son's latest quirk. He's been floating up into the air, sometimes hundreds of feet. There was just the one comic book for us to review this week, and that was Injustice Year 4, Chapter 14, which was reviewed by T.A. Hewitt, who said the inconsistencies to this point are at the normal Injustice level, and he rated this chapter a 2 out of 5. Superman comics available this week from August 12th include Injustice Gods Among Us Year 4, Chapter 15 digital comic will be available August 11th. Action Comics number 43, which is available in a variant DC Bombshells cover. Batman Superman number 23, which is also available in a variant DC Comics Bombshells cover. DC Comics Bombshells number 1 print edition, also comes in a variant cover. Earth 2 Society number 3 is also available in a variant cover. Justice League Gods and Monsters number 1 print edition is also available in a variant cover. DC Comics Bombshells Chapter 4 digital comic will be available August 15th. And Superman Krypton Returns trade paperback. Dominate your opponent with these DC Comics Superman chess pieces. Get this DC Superhero Young Superman White King chess piece for $29.99. Or how about this entire DC Collectibles Justice League chess set for $256. These and other impressive Superman chess pieces are available from your one-stop Superman shop, the Superman Homepage online store at supermanhomepage.com/shop. And that's all the news there was for the week August 7th to August 13th. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com.
Great Scott. Great Scott. Great Scott.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another dark edition of Great Scott. That's my hand. I'm Scotty V. Thanks for watching. Here I am, sitting outside for the Perseid meteor shower. We've just had a cloud cover come over, so there's only a few patches of the sky that are still visible. But I thought I would take this moment to do a slightly different version of Great Scott. Hopefully it's not too bad. I'm sure I look insane. My eyes are glowing. I probably look like a demon of some kind. But the meteor shower, of course, reminded me of Smallville. Smallville was a fun little concept show that may have been successful if it were only on for more than 10 years. It was actually very successful on the little CW network, which obviously takes a little bit less of a ratings bonanza in order for it to stay on. Although these days, when you see shows like Gotham and The Flash only getting 5 million or less, a few years back on the regular networks, a show with those kind of ratings would be canceled very quickly. But Smallville on the CW, along with these other new superhero shows, don't require that kind of a ratings boost in order to stay on, which is great for us superhero fans because we get to keep seeing these shows and they last a little longer than they might normally otherwise last. Supergirl, of course, coming up very shortly here. We'll be coming on the premiere, which I guess most people who wanted to see it have already seen because it was released online, even though Warner Brothers and CBS, I'm sure, didn't want it to be released. I haven't watched it because I would like to watch it fresh when it comes on. But the meteor shower, back to Superman and Smallville. I remember when Smallville was being talked about before it actually came on. There were TV guide covers with Michael Rosenbaum, Tom Welling, and Kristen Crook on the cover, and I guess when you put them all together, they formed a picture of the three of them with meteors behind them, and then they had the Alex Ross Superman, I think, was the fourth cover. Even though the show wasn't really about Superman, obviously we at the Superman homepage, and myself, and anybody else who was a Superman fan was really excited about this show. And I thought the idea was so cool, the fact that it was going to show a young Clark Kent who hadn't learned about his powers or his heritage or where he was from or anything like that just yet. I do remember reading, even at that time, and being a little dubious, as I am sometimes, that they were saying it's the first time we'll ever see the view of Clark Kent growing up as the man Clark Kent and not as Superman. And I remember saying, no, they did that on Lois and Clark, and it was based on the John Byrne Man of Steel miniseries from the late 80s, where the Clark Kent persona became the more prominent one, and the one that made more sense always to me, the idea that he grew up as Clark Kent with the Kents. Once that was established, he would always be Clark Kent, and Superman would be the persona he took up when he began fighting crime, or, fighting for justice, or for the oppressed, or whatever it was he did. But I remember being excited when Smallville was announced, and I remember getting those TV guides, and I remember looking forward to it coming on, and I kind of feel the same way about Supergirl coming up, even though some of the scenes look a little cheesy, and it's on CBS, so who knows how long it might last or what kind of ratings CBS will require. Let's hope it doesn't go too far down the cheese lane, and let's hope that CBS keeps it on, as long as it's a good show. And some of the trailers and some of the scenes I've seen, and of course Melissa Benoist, makes me think that it has the potential to be very successful. We recently heard that Non's going to be on it, and the Red Tornado is going to be on it, and we keep hearing some other casting announcements daily, Lucy Lane. So it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope all of you are too. But for now, back to checking the skies for meteors, and when doing that, remember, always look up.